Good morning, it's Yvonne back to do your bonus read. We're going to use the Dragon Tarot for this reading. Okay. Let's get into this reading. I won't waste a moment. Ten of Swords. This energy here with the Ten of Swords says that there is an ending to some sort of cycle. I feel like we're all feeling these energies at the moment, and I have a lot of people that write to me who are very much on the same page. When the Ten of Swords comes around, it says that there is some sort of energy of betrayal, endings, sadness, whatever it is. What it's really saying to you is that you've reached the end of a cycle, and what you've learned in that cycle you will take with you now. That's why the 10 swords are in your back. It can be that the end of the cycle means that you've stopped taking other people's mess on board. It could be that you've started to understand how you think in a negative way. Maybe you've started to understand something about your own patterns. But when the Ten of Swords comes around, it's time to let it go. It's time to put it aside. You've done the learning here. So it doesn't usually mean that you've got to go back and repeat those lessons because they've been learned. Now, for me, the swords always represent communication, this sort of energy of clarity but precision. And when I see the 10 swords in someone's back, I feel like somehow or another you've had to learn a lesson quite a few times to get to the end of this cycle. So it's sort of got like the energy this morning, like the 9 of Wands, where you've repeated and repeated and repeated before you've understood what you've been doing in a way that is not serving you. Now, it could be something like people pleasing, for example, where you constantly are doing things for other people, and now you're starting to realize that you feel quite unappreciated by that. It's like I say to people, people pleasing is actually a trauma response, and it's happened to you from a young child. So when you've repeated that pattern over and over, there comes a time when you start to realize perhaps people are taking advantage of you. I feel like sometimes people, I want to say, like, take the piss, like they do. They keep complaining and whinging, but they still take from you. Some people do that to society. They have this entitlement attitude. And it is a really sad thing, but I feel like whatever you've been dealing with here, you're starting to see it now. Maybe you've been watching me doing my talks on being observing, of watching things, of seeing things for what they are. And it is difficult when you've sort of put up with something for a long time to say, no, that's enough. But when I see this card, I feel like you're ready to say, that's enough. Oh, look at what's behind it, the 9 of Wands. So this is the card of the Wounded Warrior, and this is the card that I felt that card was feeling like today. So now I understand why. The 9 of Wands is about repeating that pattern. You see, the thing is, it keeps happening to you, but you accept it and you don't know how to say no or walk away. You don't know how to say to someone, you know what, you're just making a laughing stock of me now. You've taken advantage of me for so long, or whatever it is. You know, this, you could see that in another person, but whatever it is, somebody has been doing it for such a long time, and you're ready to finish it here. All right, we have the World card, which does signify the end of a cycle. So definitely somebody ending cycles here. It could be that you're in relationships where you have done the same thing over and over again. Like for many people, poor, abusive, domestic violence, sometimes people repeat those patterns because they don't do the learning in between to understand. But I want to say to you, sometimes you can learn a lot, but still make the same mistake. You can still believe a person is better than the person before. You can still believe in that person, but it doesn't always mean that person's going to be different. So it's sort of whatever this is, you're doing it over and over again. The 4 of Coins and the universe saying here, you need to let it go. Whatever this is for you, you need to let it go. It is not serving you anymore. It's blocking your energy. It's blocking you moving forward. It's more than likely stopping you manifesting what you want. But you're repeating something again that you have done many, many times in the past. Perhaps it's a little different this time. Perhaps you didn't see it coming. Perhaps you thought this person was different to other people. But yet again, same pattern coming through. All right, and then we have the Hermit. So that makes a whole lot of sense to me here. And the Ace of Wands, beautiful. So you're making a decision to start again. Only this time you've done the learning, you've done the healing. This time you've recognized. This time you don't want to do this cycle again. This time you've had enough. And this is very, very clear reading to me, very specific. So whoever I'm speaking to here, either you've already had this epiphany or you're about to have this epiphany or this wake-up call. Now, it may not be, about other people. It could be about your own patterning. It could be about you investing in things that don't come back at you. It could be you investing in people who don't reciprocate. There's no Six of Pentacles energy here, no equal give and take. You may be dealing with other people who are very negative all the time. But whatever this is, you're putting a stop to it here. You've definitely had enough with the Nine of Wands. You don't want to go around again. That cycle is ending. You've got to let go of what has happened in the past. It is time here with the Hermit to go back into your shell and decide how you want to move forward, because this time you're letting go. All right, so what do we have? We have the Seven of Cups. Oh, beautiful. This is the illusion that you've been under. This is the illusion. So what happens is, let's say for people pleasing, because I have people saying that to me all the time, and I can't dispute it. If it's what you want to do, obviously I can't dispute it. But I say to people, people pleasing is something you do because you don't want to have conflict. You don't like conflict. And people say, no, I don't like conflict. And I'm like, why don't you like conflict? Ask yourself why you're scared of conflict. Is it that you're scared that person won't like you anymore? Is it because you feel that you need the love from that person, or you need that person? Because conflict is not that bad. I don't know why we fear conflict. I used to be terrified of saying no to people because I didn't know what they would say back. But the first time I stood up and said no, the person went, oh, okay, then yeah, no worries. And I went, what? You mean I haven't been saying it all these years? And it was that easy. And it blew me away. It blew me away totally. It totally sent me on this big tailspin, this energy of, I don't believe that it was that simple. What have I been fearing? But you see, when you're raised to believe that's the right way to be, you feel like the sky's going to fall in on you if you say no. So there's an illusion created around that, where you believe that is the way things have to be. They can't be any different. And the moment you challenge that, everything seems to change. So I see you seeing the illusion here with this Seven of Cups. You see the illusion and you now want to change that. We have the Sun coming through next to that. So something has illuminated something for you here. We have the Two of Pentacles and we have the Moon. The Sun and the Moon. It's a really different energy with the Sun and the Moon. Like normally I would say to you, the Sun has illuminated something here for the Moon. But I don't think the Sun has illuminated in something has happened to show you something. It's almost like bringing yourself into balance here. So the Two of Pentacles, and I've been reading the cards for a long time, and I still come in with these beautiful new energies, and I think I've never felt this one before. There is a feeling here with the Two of Pentacles that you have been going over things. So you've been rehashing things, and that's what the energy would be. And it's like you keep looking at things, trying to see something different, but just keep coming up with the same result. So you go back and do it again. And you may have been doing this for some time with this Two of Pentacles, because now what I see is all of a sudden you've started to look at things and you've started to realize that you've been sort of denying it in some way, shape or form, or you've been just tossing up the other ball. So you may be with those Two Pentacles. One may represent, oh no, it's the right thing to do. And the other one may represent you're being foolish. You need to let it go. And you keep tossing it up and you keep sitting with the one that's comfortable. You keep sitting with this illusion here. This energy of, okay, it's all right, it's fine, I'll put up with it, what's the harm, that type of thing. But then you go away and the procrastination starts and the overthinking starts and you start to question yourself. That's because your intuition is telling you that it's not right, it's not correct. So you probably are going to overthink it then because you do not trust that intuition. Okay, so we have the Death card. Wow, all these major arcanas. Victory coming through with the Six of Wands and the Two of Swords. You are making a decision here that is going to be life-changing for you, and it's going to bring you victory. But you're not seeing it yet because you're still tossing up on which way to go. But I can see here the Tower falling. It's a very big energy of letting something go and allowing the new in. There is a decision you're making with the Two of Swords here. So your Two of Pentacles has now become the Two of Swords. You're no longer procrastinating, sitting on this, murmuring about it, perhaps going away, procrastinating, whatever you do, ruminating, overthinking. You're not going to do that anymore. That's the negative thinking here with these Two of Pentacles. And there's a victory after change or transformation. All right, so we have the Page of Swords coming through with the Queen of Pentacles. Wow, okay. Hanged Man energy coming through here. So first I feel like you're going to contemplate this Two of Pentacles, and it may come as a result of me saying this to you. I feel like there's change coming, and I feel like you're feeling it, but you can't quite put your finger on it still, but you're feeling it now. You're starting to understand. You're becoming the observer. You're watching your actions here. And I feel like here with this Two of Pentacles, you may be dealing with somebody who is inauthentic, for example. And you may sort of think, on the one hand, they're inauthentic, they're not truthful, they're not true to who they are. But then on the other hand, you start to sort of question that yourself. So your intuition's saying to you, this person isn't real, they're inauthentic, they're putting up a front, they're pretending to be something they're not. But then here on the other hand, you start to think, well, they seem to be a really nice person. I can't really see anything wrong with them, but your gut is telling me something's wrong here and pull away. But here, keep going back and trying to validate this with logic. So here you go with the Two of Pentacles, and that's what I feel like you're doing at the moment. But a change is coming because there is a huge realization here that's going to spin you off the ground. You're going to get it in one foul swoop. You're going to start to understand the things that you've been putting up with because you're not listening to your own inner senses. And something is changing here because you're going into the Hanged Man energy, which means you're contemplating how to move forward here and how to make this decision. So it's like you're right on the borderline. Now you could be dealing with somebody here who's coming up as a Queen of Pentacles. Now that could be a partner. It could be a mother figure, a father figure, but somebody who sits in that Pentacles energy, a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo perhaps. But I feel like here there is some sort of truth that is going to cut to the core here that you're going to see, and that will be the end of a cycle for you. Now I see the Nine of Wands, so you're very, very close to the end. There is a closing out of something. You're letting something go. This could be a person, it could be the way of thinking, but something here you're releasing because you're going into hermit mode now, which means to me you're going back in your shell to decide how to move forward because you've got a brand new start with the Ace of Wands, but this time you've chosen to do it differently. But it's funny how sometimes it takes a little while because you do that Two of Pentacles thing. You know, if you've been sort of a person who's always expected the good in people, who sees the good in people, maybe you're not really seeing the good in someone anymore. Maybe you're seeing things for what they are, the actual manifestation of what these things are. I feel like I am talking to people who have patterns in relationships here. Knight of Swords with the Knight of Coins. And the Queen of Swords, wow. With the Three of Coins. Okay, so you're closing out a contract here. You're cutting something out. You're making a decision to move in a completely new direction. This is going to be life-changing here for some of you. Because I see you really, it's like you've got a complete turnaround. A complete turnaround. You've thrown one of those pentacles down and you're taking the other pentacle and having a brand new start here. A brand new start. Nine of Cups. You're bringing your wishes in. Whatever you've been doing here, you have been blocking your manifestation. You could have been dealing with somebody that you were seeing as good all the time that all of a sudden you start to see they're not. Or you could be dealing with a family member that you've always taken advice from, but now you see that the advice they're providing is to their own benefit, not to you. It could be that you've been dealing with a situation where you keep investing because you don't know how to say no. All of that is changing here. But it could be your mindset that's changing, because this Nine of Cups tells me now that you're going to reap the rewards for understanding this cycle. But you've got to be prepared to make the changes. You cannot sit on the fence with that Two of Swords. You've got to be prepared to put these changes into action. You've been given that sword now. So the truth is coming. All right, let's have a look and see what your oracle card is. Wow, very powerful reading here. I feel like some people have started to see this, but perhaps they're resisting. They're not really understanding what they need to do. Reassurance of the golden light. Card 36. I have a feeling we've read this one before too. It's funny how the same cards repeat, and I feel like that's so important for us to take notice of. The golden light comes to you as a gift of grace and reassurance. It is an embrace from the universe, an expression of divine comfort and a sign of hope. When the golden light appears, it is a sign that everything in your life, even the most troubling matters, is going to work out perfectly. They are held in the graceful hands of the divine and will be resolved more swiftly and beautifully than you might expect. I feel like here, this talks about using your clairvoyance. So this is making me think, like I said here, that you're starting to understand that what you're feeling here is your intuition telling you something is not right. But you're not really listening to it at the moment. You may be starting to understand and starting to look at things differently. But if you're dealing with someone who has a narcissistic personality, they can really get in your head and make you see things very differently with the gaslighting. So all of a sudden, you're sort of finding yourself really bewitched by this person. Now, they come in all shapes and forms. Now, I always hear people say, well, you can't say everybody's got a narcissistic personality disorder. Well, no, you need 9 markers to meet that, but you can have 8 and not have that. So you could be meeting someone here who has a very narcissistic personality and could be quite controlling. You could be meeting someone who's controlling, manipulative, and you may be dealing with people like that all the time because they know how to manipulate you and give you what you need from them. So there is an energy here where it says, perhaps you are struggling with a particularly difficult time and an initiation or a challenging choice lies before you. Or maybe you've taken a leap and just need to know you're doing the right thing, and somehow, even though you don't feel in control of what is happening, you know it's going to work out. So this is about the golden light. This is about the universe protecting you because you've been through some sort of journey here to understand this about yourself. So I feel like you need to understand that this is part of your journey and the universe is supporting you here. I feel like your ancestors are standing very close and knowing that you're about to have this realization or this energy of understanding your journey. So know that you are deeply protected. Understand that the truth is going to come out here and it's going to show you how you've been doing things for a long while that are not really resting with you or suiting you. I feel like for many of you this may be romantic interest. For others of you it could be friend or family member. And I know that for many of you, this will come like a bolt of lightning and it will really straighten your back. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.